Hello everyone! Before we get to our top 10 favorite movies of 2020, here are the movies that have just missed the cut. Grab some popcorn as Emily, John, and I discuss the honorable mentions.
Wait a minute. Something's missing.
He's right. We need popcorn and we need it fast.
You wait here, in this row, while I go to the concession stand and come back with popcorn. Good thing I brought this $5 bill.
Wait, that $5 bill's not going to buy popcorn for each.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Very good. I recommend it, but I can't put it in my top 10 because I didn't watch the full movie.
I think I probably walked in on it like twice. It's one of those things that dads do where like they'll stand in front while they're watching the movie. They won't actually sit down and like. But I got pretty engaged in it.
Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always is a movie that if you know about it, this teenage girl is trying to get an abortion, but in Philadelphia, they don't allow that legally without the consent of an adult. So her and her cousin go to New York. She's like the best cousin ever because that was kind of unexpected. They never really had to say sorry to each other or like say thank you. It was just kind of like telepathically connected like that. The story itself is very simple, but overall I liked it. And it doesn't fall into whatever side of the argument you want it to be on. It was just overall simple. And
Okay, so I think Emily was thinking the same thing as me. We didn't want to say because we want to let you finish, but there was a movie that Emily was watching last year that has a similar plot. We didn't know what that Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always was about. Then when you said it, we're like instantly reminded of that movie.
I can't remember.
What was it called?
I can't remember what the movie's called.
It was an HBO Max movie. A girl trying to get an abortion.
Justice League, Snyder Cut.
No, you're thinking of the Joss Whedon.
Oh, yeah. Everyone wants to abort that thing.
It's called Unpregnant.
Unpregnant, there we go. I was gonna say Unplanned.
I literally just looked up HBO Max abortion movie. And it immediately came up.
Unpregnant was a really great movie. Borderline almost breaking into like the top 10. It was just a really good movie. It was very wholesome. It's a coming of age movie. Obviously with the circumstance of trying to get an abortion done. This like straight A student needs to get an abortion done immediately. She's like, fuck, I didn't plan for this to happen. I have like a very particular plan in my mind. I think everybody should watch it. It's a good coming of age movie.
Yo, another movie on my honorable mention. I'm Thinking of Ending Things. All three of us watched that, so let's just discuss that right now.
I think it's one of those movies where the first time you watch it, you're like, okay, this is good. It was a very like surreal movie. I think it's the same guy that did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So it definitely gets weird and like existential.
The first time I saw this, probably maybe the only time for a while, but the first time I was like really happy with the way it was going, and then kind of like declined towards the third act for me. And it was only when I had to like really dig deep into what the movie was actually about where I was like, okay, it's worth at least mentioning.
I really thought the movie was going to go a different route than what it did, and I was a little disappointed. It's not a bad movie. Like like I like what they did, but in my mind I was like, this is the movie that I made. In my mind I was like, this is what they're doing, and then they didn't do that, and I was like, ugh. But it was still a good movie.
You don't want to treat the audience as dumb, but here I think they should have like really, hey, let me nudge you in the right direction of what it's actually about.
Maybe this is how it was always going to end.
Obviously, this has been filmed for a really long time because it's with the original cast of Hamilton. The reason why it was released when it was is because In the Heights was delayed a year, and they were like, we can't release two Lin-Manuel Miranda musicals at the same time. So they're like, well, we gotta cut our losses and put one before. But I think what's really nice about Hamilton is the fact that it let people who cannot afford a ticket to see the play, to see the musical, to see the actual production, because that's the stage, beautiful chef's kiss everywhere.
Yeah, like I know the soundtrack had been out for a long time, and that's how a lot of people were exposed to Hamilton because they couldn't afford to see it. But I didn't want to just listen to the recording first, so I wanted to actually see it.
Hamilton by itself is a very epic story told in a very non-traditional way, and I loved it for that. Like Lin-Manuel is very talented. The whole cast that's on Disney Plus, the original cast, they're stellar.
Especially
Jonathan Groff.
Jonathan Groff, yeah. He's great. He's the king.
He spits everywhere. I'm like, oh yes, my king.
Sarah Paulson stars in Run, directed by the same guy who did Searching. You think it's going one way and then it completely goes another.
I thought it was just another story of, you know how they did the act with Joey King about the girl in the wheelchair that wasn't actually sick and her mom's telling me that she was sick.
Oh, you're right.
That's literally what I just thought they made a movie version of it, and I was like, well, that's dumb because it's also a Hulu production. And I'm just like, okay, cool. You just made another one. So that's why I was like, no, I don't want to watch that.
I didn't see that one, but The Run by itself, I thought it was directed well enough. The only thing I didn't really like was they could have done like the ending better, but overall, honorable mention worthy.
I'm your mom.
So there's another comedy that's on my actual list, and the reason that was on my list over Borat 2 is because Borat 2 is one of those movies that won't really be like timeless. That was the problem with the first Borat, is that it was very of its time. Just references to things that people have only cared about when it came out. I don't see myself rewatching this a few years from now. It was good, it was very funny, but it was funny because of what was going on when it came out.
I personally have not seen it yet, but all I'm hearing is rave critical reviews about...
Oh, yeah, his daughter. Yes, his daughter is great. Hopefully she's going places. Sacha Baron Cohen he's very good at getting people to say the quiet part out loud. Like, he finds all these very ignorant people, what they don't want to say intentionally, but they say it anyway because they feel comfortable around him. Well, the whole basic plot of it is that he's trying to deliver his daughter as a gift to the United States government because the people of his government hate him because the first Borat made their country look bad. You have to guess like political favor with America and we won't kill you. And then the ending is what got the movie a lot of buzz because he tries to deliver her to Rudy Giuliani. When she gets in the room alone with him, it looks like he was about to like put his hand in his pants, and so he like calls off the whole thing, and it just made Rudy Giuliani look really bad. So yeah, Borat 2 was good. Just I don't think I'll stand the test of time. So deserves an honorable mention, not necessarily top 10 worthy.
Onward was really something else, and especially that third act was incredible in its own right. If you saw Onward, you already know what's up. You're a true G. I mean, what's not to say about that movie? But then to wind down, my final honorable mention will be Palm Springs. They were great. The chemistry between those two were stellar. I
wanted to mention Lovers Rock. It was really good. It gave you a snapshot of a particular culture. This is a really fascinating film because it took place just primarily during a party within this subculture. It mainly follows this one girl, so it's like her at the party, and then the last little bit is when she leaves the party. And it's just, I think, like, the beauty of it is in its simplicity. It shows the highs and lows of partying. But overall, it just gives you, like, a feel of what that culture was like during that time period.